I donated my kidney to my brother. His wife convinced him to cut me off 6 months later. The transplant coordinator's notes about who else had been willing to donate made for interesting holiday conversation. Growing up, Danny and I were inseparable. 2 years apart, same sense of humor, the kind of sibling bond that survives distance and time. His kidney failure diagnosis devastated the whole family. Dialysis 3 times weekly, a transplant waitlist that stretched for years, his health declining while he waited. I got tested immediately. Perfect match. Same blood type, compatible tissue markers. The surgery was scheduled within months. Recovery was brutal. 6 weeks of pain, complications that extended my hospital stay, a scar across my abdomen that still aches when the weather changes. But Danny was healthy. That's all that mattered. Or so I thought. Victoria had never liked me. Danny's wife tolerated my presence at holidays, but made clear I was competition for his attention. After the transplant, everything changed. Calls went unreturned. Invitations declined. Family gatherings that somehow happened without my knowledge. I confronted Danny directly. Victoria thinks we need boundaries, he said. She feels like you're too involved in our lives. I gave you my kidney, and we're grateful. But healthy relationships require space. Space. From the sister who'd saved his life. Victoria had convinced him that accepting my organ created an unhealthy obligation, that my attachment to my brother was inappropriate, that cutting ties was necessary for their marriage. I was devastated. Couldn't understand how donating a kidney translated into deserving abandonment. The first holiday without Danny was the worst. Empty chair at Thanksgiving. Christmas cards returned unopened. Birthday messages that disappeared into voicemails he never checked. Our mother tried mediating. Victoria intercepted every attempt. Said family interference was exactly what they were trying to avoid. 2 years of silence. Then mom got sick. Cancer. Aggressive. Terminal diagnosis within 6 months. I was there every day, coordinating care, managing medications, holding her hand through the worst nights. Danny visited once. Victoria waited in the car. Mom's final weeks, I found the transplant coordinator's notes in her files. She'd been organizing papers, preparing for the end. The evaluation process for Danny's transplant had included family donor screening. Everyone eligible had been tested. Mom's results were in the file. Dad's, mine, and Victoria's. She'd refused testing entirely. Said she couldn't handle the medical process. The coordinator's notes documented her explanation. Patient's wife declined evaluation, citing personal anxiety, no medical contraindication present. Victoria had been healthy enough to donate. She'd simply chosen not to. Meanwhile, she'd convinced Danny to cut off the sister who had. Mom's funeral was small. Danny attended. Victoria didn't. I handed him the coordinator's notes without explanation. He read them twice. Face went pale. She told me she couldn't donate. Medical reasons. There were no medical reasons. She was just unwilling. He had no response. The conversation that followed took 3 hours. Years of manipulation unpacked. Victoria's lies exposed. The reality of who had actually sacrificed for him. Danny filed for divorce 2 months later, not because of the notes alone, but because they prompted him to examine other things Victoria had said. Other relationships she'd sabotaged, a pattern of isolation that had nearly cost him his entire family. We're rebuilding slowly. Trust doesn't regenerate like kidneys. Some damage is permanent, but he calls weekly now. Showed up for my birthday last month. Apologized in ways that felt genuine. Victoria reached out once, said I'd destroyed her marriage with manipulation. I didn't respond. I gave my brother a kidney. She gave him excuses. The transplant coordinator's notes just made sure he knew the difference. Some family members sacrifice. Some family members watch others sacrifice and then demand gratitude. I learned which kind Victoria was too late. Danny learned eventually. That's enough.